We did a lot of individual work after practice yesterday, okay? I like that. We're working at our game, we're improving. We have to run the ball in the red zone against this team. So O-line, if you knew that's how they're gonna assess us, what do we have to do? We have to run the ball to score. We have to run the ball to score touchdowns in the red zone. So in the red zone, we gotta turn up our physicality. We have to have a bunch of different ways to run the ball to score touchdowns. All right? You guys got that? Score touchdowns by running the ball.
He's playing the drive.
Yeah, I mean, didn't take a genius to see that the Chargers had to address the offensive line coming into this season.
You saw that Justin Herbert was forced to get the ball off so quick.
He was the best quarterback in the league under pressure, but you'd like to see him not under pressure.
You know, I always believe that you build a team in the trenches, offensive line, defensive line, and really be a balanced group of being able to throw it and run it.
Everything that's done on offense has to go through your offensive line. You can have the best quarterback, the best running backs, the best receivers, best tight end, whatever it may be. If your line isn't there to be the cornerstone of your offense, it tends to be a problem for everybody.
As we finished last year, went into this year, 3 of our starting 5, their contracts were expiring. And we have a 4th player that we had traded for that we ended up releasing. So, it's not always the most comfortable feeling to go into an offseason where you have 4 starting spots you have to get competition for. But sometimes that's the best way to go. It really puts a sense of urgency and focus on, hey, look, we're going to get this done. It was a major project this offseason, both time and money investment in the offensive line. Just because we felt like that was an area we think we can make bigger gains right now with improvement. And credit to our pro scouting staff, Ed McGuire, our coaching staff. We put a plan together and really nailed the plan.
Yeah, making that huge splash, bringing in Corey Linsley at center, the star center of this free agency.
There's a reason why the Chargers wanted him. There's a reason why they wanted him out there to help Justin Herbert.
Overall, I mean, the impression that I got from coaches, Tom, everybody, it seemed like a first-class organization, and I heard nothing but good things. I want to be, the best player I can be, and that's really, I had a conversation with Coach Staley. He's like, all we're expecting you to be is yourself and what we've seen on film, and that really stuck with me, and so that was comforting, yeah, for sure.
The center is just so key for the offensive line for a lot of reasons. One being the leadership of that position. After the quarterback, you need a big-time center to win a Super Bowl. But just, how much they mean to the run game, how much they mean for pass protection, it's just a key spot. But with Corey, what was really helpful, and one of the reasons why we went after him so hard, number one, he's coming out of an offense in Green Bay that was very similar to what we're going to do here, even by terminology. And in the NFL free agency, it's just so much different than baseball, because scheme fits means so much more in football than baseball. So in baseball, I can take a third baseman from one team, put him on another team, and he's probably going to have about the same production. In football, you can take a left guard from one team, put him on another, and it could be completely different.
Oday, Aboushi, Matt Feiler.
Feiler, one of the best guard/tackle guys.
Nicknamed the Anchor.
Exactly.
You have a nickname.
Yeah, it's called the Anchor.
Where did that come from?
It started back in Pittsburgh. It was during the preseason, and it was just, I don't know, the older guys in the room were in awe, I guess, about how I could kind of set down on a bull rush and stop the surge from that.
He's played consistent football, and he's really had to earn everything he's had, coming from Bloomsburg University, and, he's earned his way up the ladder to where he is now. You know, I know he may not be a big name to many people. He was a big name to our pro scouting staff, because this is all they do. They watch film every day, all day long. But you know, those are the guys that help you win games.
Welcome inside the Cleveland, Ohio-based draft hall.
You're Brandon Staley, you're the new head coach. You want to protect your young franchise quarterback.
When we were looking at this draft class, there was a pretty clear top tier of tackles with two guys, Penei Sewell and Rashawn Slater, and there were a lot of teams that needed a starting left tackle.
They don't have a left tackle right now, Rich. Rashawn Slater, to me, is the best left tackle in the draft. I like him even better than Penei Sewell. He's still there. I did not think this would happen.
You know, I thought there was probably a pretty good chance he may get drafted in a group a little bit higher than us. But if he didn't, once he got to a certain point, I felt pretty good like he'll get to us.
The Los Angeles Chargers pick is in.
To have such an obvious need and then have the best player available fall to them in the draft, that's perfect, and it doesn't often happen.
Oh man, I wish I could relive that night. I remember I was pretty nervous beforehand. I actually had like an emotional moment before it all started, like with my family. When someone got the call next door, like you would hear their family screaming, and you'd be like, oh, okay, so I thought this team might go with me, they're not. And so it was kind of like that over and over again, but finally, I remember my phone started ringing and it just popped up and said Chargers. It was amazing. I knew immediately too.
Rashawn.
With the 13th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Rashawn Slater Jr.
Congratulations, man.
I'm gonna try my best to put the fire out. Mama, what do we do? Stop it. You see, this is where I can't lie and pretend I know what to do, because my mom always cooks for us.
First of all, are you ready, Daddy?
There we go.
Everybody kept asking me, is Rashawn nervous? Is Rashawn nervous? He calls me separately and is like, my suit didn't get here. I have nothing to wear to the draft. But he was like so chill, you would have never known that. So I just kind of laughed about like all the people asking if he was nervous. I was like, he should be, but he's really not.
Did you tell him about when you were little and we were worried that you guys were gonna have football practice because they have alligators out there? You guys going over there? Yeah, you did.
We had summer practice there.
Yeah, so I thought you guys were gonna get eaten by alligators.
Can you just introduce me to your family? Like, what's that dynamic like?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the first person you probably meet is my dad.
That's what it's gonna be like.
He's like kind of the opposite of me. He's like really loud. He's really kind of rambunctious, goofy.
It's so funny because people are like, aren't you so proud of him? I've been proud of this dude for years. It's just you guys are just now figuring it out. This guy's been awesome for years. This is the rest of the world is now figuring it out.
Week one, when you see your son playing for the first time NFL football.
I have goosebumps just thinking about it. It's so exciting. I can't wait. I just can't wait to be there and watch. And like I said, it's so, as a parent, I'm so proud of him and everything he's accomplished. And I just can't wait. Can't wait to watch.
All right, fellas.
Get you to sign and then look up at me, big smile.
How important is this next month for like getting ready for that first week in Washington?
It's everything. You know, you and I both know I haven't played football since 2019, so it's like, you know, time to knock off all the rust, time to just get with the guys, get ready, and be ready to roll.
You know, it's just, if you have guys that they enjoy working together, they enjoy spending time together, they just that continuity, you can tell offensive lines that like being around each other, and all you have to do is go to practice and watch.
Listen, we want to make it really fundamental. The ball can't be put in play until the center snaps it. It starts with the offensive line. It starts right there.
He's the quarterback of our O-line. He gets all the points out and gets us all on the right page if we weren't there already. Having a guy like that in the room definitely makes our job easier.
Coming here, you know, meeting Oday, Matt, obviously I knew Brian, you know, I could tell right away that these guys were real guys, and, you know, tough dudes, gritty dudes, you know, guys that I could get along with. I felt like we developed a great chemistry throughout the spring and through camp, and, you know, we just got to keep rolling.
Something that maybe is underestimated at times is how important a relationship between center and quarterback is, especially with a young quarterback.
You know, when Corey first showed up to practice, or the OTAs, and we were just walking through, but there was a lot of, you know, pre-snap communication. A lot of what we were doing was just up to the snap. And man, he's such a savvy veteran. Like, he understood everything right away.
This guy's a freaking stud. 63. Corey Linsley. And I'm telling you, like, you know, highest paid center in the NFL, but worth his weight in gold.
He's incredibly smart, and he's been able to pick up the offense so quickly, and he's seen so many defenses that, you know, he's one of the best to ever do it.
Some of the things that I could take coming from Green Bay and playing with Aaron, and the creative aspect that he had, you know, I can sort of try and bring as much as I can, you know, incorporate some of what I brought to the table and also stuff that works for him.
He came in immediately and gelled with the guys, and whenever we go out to practice, you know, he's making the right points, and if it ever comes to the point where I see something, I can flip it. But, you know, he's done an incredible job.
Ready. Ready. We start. Ready. Ready. We start.
Justin Herbert's as smart as any quarterback in the league. But experience is what you still have to go through. You still got to get those banked experiences, right? You still have to go through certain things and see it and do all of that. If he can play faster and looser because the center in front of him, I got this line call.
9, 9, 9. 8, 4, 9. 8, 3, 3. Single 9.
You just make sure of X, Y, and Z. I've got this. Now you've just made him better.
He's, you know, if not the best center, he's certainly one of the best centers in the NFL. And he's just a great anchor for the rest of the offensive line.
Besides just being a part of this O-line and having Frank and Corey and Brian and all those guys and being able to go against Joey in training camp, I feel like that did wonders for my mental. Just like, okay, like if I can go against this guy and on the first few days of camp, he's just kicking my ass. He's like a master of just beating you with what you give him. So like if I do anything bad, he's gonna find a way to exploit it. And then as we keep going, like I finally like started to learn how to beat him. You know, like obviously it's still a lot of back and forth, but it really just helped me develop my confidence.
Yeah, you want to measure yourself against the best, and Joey is one of the premium players in the league. Anytime you can measure yourself against real NFL players, I think you get a much stronger sense of where you're at.
They bolstered their offensive line this offseason. I think that 4 or 5 new key pieces on the O-line, 4 new key pieces, including Rashawn Slater, and we have seen it so much from him already. I mean, I think you were able to see it probably in the first game against Washington.
One of the elite defenses in the NFL, led by that man, Chase Young.
End of the year last year, #1 defense in football. Defensive front is all first-round picks. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Chase Young. Okay, that's where you open.
Can this defensive line that I think is the best in football get after him and get pressure on him throughout the game?
Chargers begin from their own 25-yard line. Herbert, and that is complete to Jalen Gayton. This is Larry Roundtree, the rookie, breaking free.
Here we go, going around the left side with your rookie left tackle right there. One of the things that stands out to me on this first drive is that Justin Herbert has no pressure. He has been able to stand in the pocket and deliver the ball, and if you allow him to do that, he will tear you apart.
The question was how quickly would this offensive line mesh? New faces, and so far so good. Here's Eckler. Eckler in for the Chargers touchdown. And the Bolts laying down the gauntlet with a terrific season-opening drive.
After the first drive, I was like, okay, like, this is it, we're balling now.
What's been your evaluation of Rashawn Slater?
Couldn't be much better. Footwork, the smarts, the toughness, it's all there. You all see it working. If he actually touched the football, he'd be the lead candidate for Rookie of the Year.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I thought he chased Chase Young away from the right defensive end spot to the left end spot. He left after a while. He was frustrated.
He only allowed 1 pressure the entire game against Chase Young. That's insane.
What would you say is like the mentality of the O-line?
Definitely road graders. You know, I think what we want to be is just this tough unit that, you know, as the team goes as we go. Like, we always put it on our shoulders.
When you take the fight to your opponent, you out-hit them, and you out-hustle your opponent, you can fix a lot of the other stuff that happens. It doesn't go perfectly. Physicality that happens with. The out-hit that this game is about. It should be obvious to people, right, how hard we play.
Hand off to Eckler. Has a lane.
It's been better than I would have thought. I figured there'd be a little more of a transition, especially since a lot of these guys didn't play in the preseason. But they hit the ground, and it's looked like they've been playing together for years.
And O-line, when we're feeling that whoosh, I had this great O-line coach, or great head coach in high school. He was an O-line guy, played at Michigan. He used to call it a whoosh, right? A whoosh is that feeling, right, of you guys knocking people off the ball, and it's a whoosh for that running back, right when he hits that run. Right? Because there's nothing better than running it right at him, right, and playing that physical game. Nothing better than that.
With Coach Staley, you know, he's a coach you want to play for. You know, he understands football. Me personally, I want to be known for like being the best offensive line in football.
The biggest thing that Coach Staley has said to us that's kind of hit me the most was play the game on the game's terms. You know what I mean? And that what he means when he says that is, you know, every game is going to be a little bit different. You know, the physicality aspect of it is always going to be there. You're always going to have to be physical, and you're always going to have to be fast and everything. But the way we do that, you know, we can't just get locked into a singular groove. You know, we have to be flexible in how we approach the game with that physicality. And with our O-line, I feel like that's our goal every week is to match the level of physicality that is required of us, and also we're playing the game how it needs to be played to win that particular game.
That's Rashawn up top.
When it comes to trying to, I guess, slow down Myles Garrett, is there a better or best way to do it?
With Cleveland, you start with blocking 95, okay? And he can wreck a game by himself.
I say Myles is, obviously an elite player because he's able to win in so many different ways. You know, he's huge, first of all, but he's also really quick, has one of the best get-offs I've seen, covers a ton of ground, and so he's always a threat to the edge.
The strip sack, the turnover again.
But also, he can plant his foot and go inside in the blink of an eye. Like, he's freaky the way, if you've ever seen him do it, it almost looks like he's teleporting.
He's going to get hit. He's going down. They got him. A sack. There he is. Myles Garrett does it again.
And at the same time, like, obviously he has a ton of power.
Cousins pressured. Garrett got back there, put his pressure on that pocket. Sacked on the play. Garrett got him.
And so you're literally setting to stop, speed around the edge, power down the middle, and the inside move. Like, every single play, all three of those are a threat. And that's what makes it so hard to block.
But it's not just Myles Garrett now. You got a few others who are coming. It has been a very difficult stretch because each one of them presents a different challenge within the same basic challenge, which is, can you run the ball, can you protect your quarterback? But you're going to do it different ways.
Trenches. Let's go. Hey, I told the QBs this. Nobody outside just huddle in this locker room will ever respect you, no matter who you are. It's the guys in this locker room that we gotta respect and love. Build this grab that and roll. Hey, go. Trenches on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
You know, just that kind of stare down. I think it's when, you know, we're standing on the sideline getting ready for kickoff, and we're kind of like, both teams are kind of staring back and forth at each other, and it's just kind of like, okay, this is who we're going up against. You know, we're kind of like, I don't know if we're catching each other's eyes or what it is, but it's just like, all right, this is it, let's go.
The role of the center is to get everybody on the same page, you know, getting up to the ball as quick as you can. The speed of it right off the bat when you break that huddle, making sure everybody's on the same page. You know, from that starting point is kind of where everything builds out.
Herbert under center, takes the handoff, takes the reverse. Now it's a screen for Eckler, waiting for his blockers, has a hole, 35, breaks outside 40, all the way up to the 44 for a gain of 18. There you go. touchdown Bolts.
And how about Feiler out there in space, clearing the way for Austin Eckler with the key block. As a big man, Matt Feiler, 330 pounds. He got out there and cleaned everything up out there.
That is Aboushi, who is down. And we just talked to Tom Telesco a little bit earlier about how steady his play has been. So trainers tending to Oday.
Based on the way a team plays in the trenches, what does that say about the team as a whole?
Typically, it tells you where you are as a ball club about your ability to fight throughout a ball game, for your ability to set the tone, as we like to say all the time, for your ability to, if you're down, being able to battle your way back in, just kind of hold the line and not panic.
Herbert in the shotgun on a 4th and 2. And they are running this play. And they got a hold. Holy cow. That was Austin Eckler. How about that?
My heart skipped a beat on that one.
On 4th and 2, to hand the ball off to Austin Eckler deep in your own zone and run a trap play right at Myles Garrett. So it's a confidence builder, and I think it's a real strength of this team.
And now he's going to go empty. Kelly outside the numbers left. Herbert looking middle of the field. And now he's going to scramble. Herbert on his legs, makes a man miss to the end zone. Touchdown! Chargers! Justin Herbert, 9 yards for the score.
Be your own run game. I love it from Justin Herbert being aggressive, and I think Coach Staley might go for 2 here.
Herbert in the shotgun, takes the snap, looks to the end zone, throw, caught. It's good. Donald Parham.
He just ran a spot route right over the ball. That was an easy pitch and catch.
Easy.
Good job being aggressive on these games. That's the difference. Hell of a job on the 4th and 2. That's a 10-yard game when we had to have it. Hell of a job all across the board. All across. Well-blocked play, guys. Our combos are knocking them back 3 yards. Just what we talked about all week. It's a mindset. Their day up. Their day up. Get out there.
Our coaches said this to me. Frank has said, offensive line, it's always like you only get noticed when you screw up, and, regardless of if people watch us or care about us or whatever, we're trying to do our job and win the game, however it needs to be won.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Look at that space right there. You wadded them right into each other. That's the shit I'm talking about. Knock them into each other on the game because we're aggressive. We're going to gash them right up the gut. Make sense?
1st and goal, Chargers. Herbert in the shotgun, Eckler to his left. Hands to Eckler. Eckler into the end zone! Touchdown! Chargers! Takes the handoff, bounces it right, has a lane into the end zone. Touchdown, Browns.
Hey, we got you guys. We're good. Let's keep going. Keep fighting. We got you. We got you. We'll get it.
It never goes as clean as you want. It's going to go the way it's going to go, and your job is to respond. The really successful players have that calm, that they're able to regroup, sit on the bench, focus, get to the next moment.
Hey, if we got to score 100, it's what it takes. Just find a way. Find a way with each other. Win the game together. Here we go, boys. Here we go.
Need to get to the 3 for a 1st down. 2nd and 16. Herbert, play action. Throws the screen, has a blocker. Here comes Eckler, bouncing outside to the 10, to the 5, still on his feet into the end zone. Touchdown, Chargers.
Hey, they don't know. They don't know. They don't know.
Most points scored by a Charger team against the Browns in the series history now. It was 44, it's now 47.
You serious, Bam? Yeah, get ass!
I have my moments, yeah. I try not to be, but I can't help myself.
Yeah, no, chop that fucking down! You fucking kidding me? All fucking day! That's when you fucking put the dagger in the heart. Right there, baby. Great fucking job, guys! Great fucking job! You gotta love this. Yeah, let them score. We'll fucking score again.
A game like that is like, well, all of them, I think it's really to ignore the scoreboard, ignore the past, the future, stay in the present, stay in the moment. You have to really rely on each other. I think, like everything, it's such a long season from the beginning when you report in July to the end of the regular season to hopefully making your push into the playoffs.
What we want to do here is we want to play our best football at the end. Not at the beginning, not in the middle, but at the end, all right? And so when you're trying to build something, right, you want everyone to know what's happening.
I always look back to my college head coach used to always talk about the program was a house, and how do you build a structure that's going to last? You have to build a foundation that's strong.
It really has been a complete team win by a football team against a really good opponent that came in here at 4-1 and red hot.
Think about building a strong foundation. How does adversity help you do that?
Well, it shows you who's committed to the long haul, who's committed to a process-driven program as opposed to who just want results. You're always trying to be better than you were the last day.
Talked about after practice, okay? This is more important than anything, all right, is what we're looking like after practice, okay? This is what I'm talking about, right, after practice that I'm looking for, that we're looking for as coaches, that our owner's looking for, all right? That everybody that's important to you is looking for, is you working at your game after practice, because that's where it is.
The next week's the next week. The next week's the next challenge.
Okay, on offense, if they're gonna decide to play us man-to-man, we gotta kill man-to-man. We can't just beat man-to-man. You gotta kill man-to-man if that's what they decide to do. I don't know how much man-to-man they're gonna play. If I were him, I don't know if that would be my strategy. Okay, and I'm going to talk a lot about that as the week goes on. I don't know if that would be my strategy to play man-to-man. You offensive guys have seen that they play 2 deep zone and they play 3 deep zone, not pattern match. Do they? Zone, meaning they're allowing you to run through zones. We have to run the ball in the red zone against this team. So O-line, if you knew that, if that's how they're going to assess us, what do we have to do? Have to run the ball to score. We have to run the ball to score touchdowns in the red zone.
The good coaches really understand the psychology of their guys. What a lot of offensive line coaches tell their offensive linemen is, hey, down on the goal line, if you score first, then the guy with the ball scores, we're okay. Meaning you take your guy and you push him back into the end zone. You cross that goal line first. That's what they want to do.
Play the drive. Shake and bake move doesn't work for Eckler. New England's defense holds up, although once again, the extra effort. Oh my goodness! Touchdown!
Russ Grimm, the Hall of Famer, said it best. It is really difficult to move a person from point A to point B against their will. And that's what offensive line play is all about.
I love the way that we started the football game. I thought we had some good stretches. I really liked the way we ran the football. We felt like that we could do that.
Oh, nice run by Jackson. He could go. Jackson.
But in the passing game, we weren't good enough today. We did not protect the passer well at all today. We had far too many drops, and then we didn't play with great timing.
Do you think that those challenges, like specifically, brings you guys closer together?
Absolutely. It's it's the adversity, and that's when you really realize like the character of the other guys next to you, and the character of the team, the character of everyone, because it's such a long season. I mean, shoot, I look at the fortunate teams I was able to be a part of that went from where a middle of the road or poor to being very successful, and it all started with a couple moments of adversity where a couple of guys banded together and said, "Hey, we ain't doing this anymore."
If you want to see more content like this, check out the link right here.